one of the things that you mentioned earlier was that we need to be, we still want to be the people that our customer calls first and to continue to provide a great service. And I want to go a little bit into, what that looks like and what does that mean? We've talked about our vision to be the trucking standard of excellence and to continue to build trust. But I think what's important here is that we realize that we're not changing who we are. We're kind of doubling down on our roots, on what we do is providing these services. So talk a little bit about that. What does it look like to be the trucking standard of excellence and continue to provide that great service to our customer?
Well, that's a good question, because we should be focusing on that all the time. So I think it comes to real basic stuff. Obviously, the obvious stuff is when a customer gives us a call or however they communicate with us, that we can accept a load, make the pickup, make the delivery, communicate correctly. Those are kind of the basic things. But when it really comes down to the core of it is they have to trust you. They have to trust that when they send over a load, and they may call, but anymore it's usually on an email or whatever. But when they send over a load, that they have to trust that we understand what is needed, that we have the right equipment in place to have the trailer there, it's clean, it's fueled, it's ready, they can load it. And then we have the right people, whether it comes from the operations side. Obviously, you have to have a great driver in the truck to be able to provide that delivery consistently the right way. And all the people that help support all those moves, whether it's making sure that the trucks are maintained correctly, or that the paperwork is right, and so forth. But then once we have that load on our trailer, we're making the deliveries, we're there on time. And a lot of people can do that. It's doing that every day correctly, making sure we communicate correctly when we're en route. And probably as important as any of this is when we have issues, and everybody has issues. When we have issues, that we deal with them correctly. And there's no fancy way of dealing with it. It's making sure that if we're having a problem, that we tell our customer what our problem is and make sure they're aware of it, and do everything that we can to deal with that correctly. If it's reschedule or repower or whatever it is that we have to do, those are dealing with those problems correctly. Our customers like to be able to call us, tell us what's going on, and forget about it, and let us take care of the business, so that if we do that properly, their customers are happy with them. So,
when all this stuff was happening a couple of weeks ago, you and I kind of had a conversation, and I was kind of like the hyper one, like the nervous one. And when we started kind of going through some of the answers that you just gave, like some of those remarks, I found, I don't know if comfort's the right word, but it was a good reminder of that. We're not changing who we are or what we do. We're doubling down on what we normally do. We're doing that and continuing to do that at a high level. We're not changing, what we're hauling or who we're hauling for, those kind of things. We're making small changes internally, but we're, as far as our picture to who we are to our customers, we're doubling down on those things and just continuing to do that. So I think that's a good reminder.
Yeah. And one thing that I have noticed is that through all of this coronavirus stuff, all the things that are going on, and the changes and the pressures and the frustrations and everything that we have to deal with this, that what I see is whatever our character is, it comes out in spades. It just comes out all over the place. If people are resilient, resilience shows up. If people have a good sense of humor, that shows up. On the other side, if people get anxious, they get anxious in a really quick level, a really quick way, or in a really big way. So all those things happen. And, my expectation for us is that through us, that our character comes out too, that the people around us can see that, we have the right people here that can make good decisions, and we can live by the values that we talk about, and come out stronger than what we are now. So I think it's been a good learning experience.
So switch gears a little bit here. We see a lot of stuff in the news from a lot of different sources every day. The headlines just sometimes seem to get more and more outrageous. Out of everything that you're seeing in your news, give me kind of like your take on some of that. What do you think about what you're seeing?
Stop listening to all the news. No, we have to make sure that we know what's going on. We want to be safe, but I think there's way too many people spending way too much time, especially on social media, listening to all these different kinds of stories. Find sources that you know and trust and are real, stick with them and forget the rest.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I've noticed that has been, I think, a great thing is that through this whole thing, truck drivers and the trucking industry in general has been celebrated. In society, in an industry that, you know, truck drivers and the trucking industry are not commonly thought of as heroes, and they are being celebrated now, which I think is a great thing.
There is an appreciation for people in trucking like never before in my work time. And when I hear Dad talking about how it was back in the 70s, perhaps when truckers were the knights of the road, and you're finally hearing more people talk like that again. And you know, it's been true all along, but now more people are starting to realize it. You don't have to be in trucking to recognize how important trucking is. And I think one positive out of this is seeing how many people in trucking are on the front lines, are willing to put themselves at risk to take care of everybody else to make those deliveries, not just food, but all the other things. I think it's fantastic to see all those people do that, and then let them get some of the respect that they've earned. Also at home, I mean, that's, you know, we complain about maybe not being able to go somewhere, but in my household, I'm at home. I got a family, and I've spent more time with my kids in the last 2 months than I probably have in I don't know how long, because we were always chasing them around to either baseball games or soccer or some sort of sporting events or schooling events or something like that. And now we have time together. Sometimes they're tired of being with mom and dad all the time, but it's also probably healthy at times too.
A lot of time for airsoft guns.
Yes, we do play some airsoft guns. I've got wounds all over me for all the times that my kids have shot me with their guns.
What are you most looking forward to when we get back to quote unquote normal? Not that I believe that we'll be 100% back to normal. I think there'll be a new one, but what are you most looking forward to when that happens?
The people, 100% the people. You know, we probably have, with everybody just in Millersburg, on the non-drivers, there's probably half the people that are here, maybe a third. The other half or 2/3, I'm looking forward to having us all together again.
Are you saying you miss us?
Yes, I am. So one of the things that I wouldn't mind mentioning is, so obviously here in the office, I don't get to see near as many people as I am used to. And in my office, I have a big window. It's almost sort of feels like a drive-through window. People, in fact, kind of make fun of me, but we can easily social distance. So I want to encourage anybody, if you're around here, stop out at my drive-through window, and we can say hello and shoot the breeze or whatever else we want to do. So stop by. That's perfectly legal in our coronavirus setting.
You can order a large fry.
You can order a large fry and a root beer if you want to.
That's good. Well, thank you so much, Kevin, for taking the time to do this today.
Oh, it's been my pleasure.